Hi everyone, and welcome back to the channel here at Paradise on Pennies. I'm Heather, and today I want to dive back into discussions around the financing side of life and living on the road. A lot of people ask us questions about how we can afford it, and so I've started a whole finance themed playlist on the channel to talk about all those things, from how to budget for the road and how we did it and what our budget looks like, and then a couple of other topics like today's topic about financing for living on the road or simply living your dreams. So have you guys heard of this Dave Ramsey fella? He helps people with financing issues. Now I say helps in that manner because of course what he offers is not for free. The guy's actually worth like $55 million. So how did he do it? Is he smarter than all of us? Does he just know more than us when it comes to this game of financing? Or is it something else? Well, you know how you get to be worth $55 million? Well, it's not necessarily by being wiser, per se. Sure, you could do smart things with your money, but the two big reasons you get to be worth that much money, it's not just like a lot of money, it's a lot of money. So one way is pretty much to already have a lot of money. If you have money to play with, you already have it. Maybe you were given it, whatever, but you have it to bear the risk of different things that you can do and try to make money on that money, right? So if you have money to play with, you can make more money. So that's the first way. And the second one is selling an idea that people like to hear. The idea here is that you can be rich like me too. Well, already with that, I have a couple problems with the concept. One, why do I want to be like you? And two, why do I want to be rich like you? Do I really need to? And with that also, can I actually be rich like you? Like you as in $55 million worth? I don't know. Now, I want you to think about that for a minute. Just think about what it takes to be worth $55 million. Dwell on that number. 1 million times 55. Okay? And then just to help with the thought process, think about this. If you made, this is just going to be a rough calculation just to help you sort of conceptualize this amount of money. If you were making $150,000 a year salary, even after tax, $150,000, that's a pretty good salary. So let's say you want to save up to $50 million. We'll just talk about that for a second. What would it take for you to save up to $50 million? Not even 55, let's go 50 million. It would take you 333 years of life to save up to $50 million, if that's how much money you made. So you would have to put away all your money in that case, which also isn't entirely reasonable. You're obviously going to be living off of some of that money. But if you were able to save it all, you'd still have to live to be 333 years old. Super frugal, and you had a really good salary, and you saved all your money, and you got the best promotion, right? I mean, no matter what, if you had tons of money, it's going to be really hard to get to that number of 50 million. And I mean, on top of that, I left room, right, for that 55, which doesn't sound like a big difference, but it's a $5 million difference. So you could also, in addition to that, have $5 million for other assets just to have. So a couple million in a house, a couple million in cars and boats, or maybe a couple million in retirement investment, retirement savings, right? So right there I give you $2 million for your retirement investment, which is a decent number for some people. They would really like to see $2 million in their investment. So I had $2 million in that, plus a couple million on top of having $50 million that you're worth. So my point is just kind of how unreasonable of a number that is for most people. So we really shouldn't be striving to be like these people who are worth that much money. And this is the part where someone out there might say, well, wait a minute, it's about the investments. It's about how you invest your money, not save your money. It's about how you invest it and you turn that little bit of money into more money. Again, it doesn't really work here because you would have to have a lot of money to turn it into that much money, right? $55 million. You should also be considering reality here, and that it's for our generation. The prospect of making that much return on your money is changing. And I won't go into too much of big detail here on that topic, but I will in another video that I'll link here, where I'll talk about this whole retirement and savings thing. But basically, the return on our investments is projected to be much lower, like half that of what they were making over the last century. And the age for retirement is going up, so the whole making a lot of money for your retirement picture is getting a little bleak. But again, check that other video on retirement if you're interested in my take on that. So what's my point? Well, people like this, people that often give people advice on the whole financial how to get rich scheme, they always focus on just the one side of the equation. There's two sides of this equation, and they almost always focus on the revenue side, the how much can I make? I want to get richer, I want to make more money. But there's a whole nother side of the equation. And when we're focusing on the how do I make more money, sure, they'll probably maybe mention savings along the way, but that's not really the focus of most of these things, right? The focus is on the investment and how you're going to make your money turn into lots more money. It's not really on savings. We know that. We just went over it and looked at how you can't just save up to be $50 million richer unless you live to be 330. So my main point here is just to emphasize, one, to be careful with these types of things. Don't let someone make you focus just on the making money side of it, no matter who it is. And two is don't forget about the other side of this entire equation. And that's, in addition to savings, is also just changing your point of view and learning how to not need as much. If you don't need as much on this side, then you don't have to make as much on the other side. So just kind of learning to live with less, learning to be a little more simple in life. The less you need, the easier it is. And guess what? Your life's worth more than just money, right? So you are almost always, when you're gaining more money, you're almost always trading that by giving up something else, which a lot of times are things like your time, your vacation. Sometimes you give all of it up. Spending long hours at a job, being away from your family, not having as much time with friends or to do what you love, typically kissing a boss's butt or hanging out with acquaintances and people that you don't even really like. These are all trade-offs, and you shouldn't have to give those up in life just to bulk up your money side of the equation. So if we go back and we re-examine that equation in our lives, in our financial lives, and we look at how much money you need and the other side, and then we think, well, what if I just spend less and don't need as much money? And then if we go back and we look at that side of the equation and we say, okay, let's add, in addition to money, we'll add things like time and happiness and our amount of time that we spend with family and our amount of time in nature or hiking or doing what we love, whether it's running or rock climbing or skiing, having time to read, having peace and quiet, being able to look at the stars, spending time with our dogs. You could put all that on that side in addition to money, and now you've found a way to make your life worth millions. So let that be your goal.